So in order for you in this life to see some growth, it needs proper light. Hello gorgeous people, I am Adina from plantsbutbetter, and today we're talking about Sansevieria Silver Blue and all there is to know about this beautiful plant, the good, the bad and the ugly. And now roll the intro. Oh yeah, that's right, we don't have any intro. Let's talk about looks, because this Sansevieria is a pretty juicy plant. And it's silver and it's blue in sunlight, so it's pretty much the name, it's silver blue. For starters, we can talk about some general things, like lighting. Even though Sansevierias in general have a reputation of thriving in low light, that is not something we recommend. You basically want all your plants to be happy. So in order to achieve that, we want to place the Sansevieria somewhere in bright and direct light. Especially with this one, Sansevieria Silver Blue is a very, very slow grower. So in order for you in this life to see some growth, maybe that sounds a little bit negative, but it needs proper light. So if your apartment doesn't have great light conditions, you can totally help it with some artificial grow lights. I did that and it went well. You first want to know where to place the plant, and secondly, you want to know how often you should water it. It's great to wait until the substrate is completely dry. Sansevierias don't like water, that's for sure. And also, as a rule of thumb, the juicier the leaves are and the fatter they are, the less water you need for the plant in general, not only for Sansevierias. In the growing season, you can water it once every 2 weeks. You can actually stretch it to 3 depending on your home environment, and in the winter maybe once a month. It's more than enough. I have with me 3 Sansevierias because I want to show you some different things, and the first one is in here. So I don't know how much you can see it, but I promise I will take a close-up of this. Here, this leaf right here has a wrinkle. Yeah, that's the right leaf. That means that it needs water, because I don't water my plants so often, because I want to avoid at all cost the root rot. Okay, so how about temperature? Ideally, you want to place it somewhere between 18 to 26 degrees. Don't let it drop below 15 degrees Celsius. This is important because lower temperatures on any plants will cause stress and damage on the leaves, on the foliage. Good, let's talk about humidity. Almost any Sansevieria will be happy in average to low humidity. The normal home humidity should be fine. Everywhere you place it, unless it's above a humidifier, is fine. So this is not a drama queen. So what about fertilizing? Because this plant has such a slow growth rate, I think it's enough in the winter, for example, to fertilize it maybe once a winter. Maybe once in the entire winter, and in the growing season that is usually associated with spring and summer, you can fertilize it maybe once a month. That is good enough. For this plant especially, I use an NPK that is quite balanced, let's say 10-10-10 or 20-20-20. But if your plant is having trouble with the roots, because sometimes this kind of Sansevierias, I've seen it myself, have less roots than other Sansevierias, try to find something that is more rich in phosphorus. Well, enough about fertilizing. How about the substrate? So the mix you should be considering is something that is very airy, so it should drain water really, really fast. A great mix example can be regular potting soil, maybe 40%, with some perlite. The perlite is super important for the drainage, again 40%, and some cocoa fiber or cocoa coir or cocoa chips, whatever you have in your house, maybe 20%. Okay, now let's talk about plastic versus terracotta. This plant does not have any problem with any kind of pot you want to be putting it in. I did grow Sansevieria Silver Blue in both plastic and terracotta, and I can tell it's doing fine in the both mediums. You just have to choose whatever you like best. How about repotting? This is a very, very slow grower, so you have more chances winning the lottery than actually seeing this plant grow. I'm just telling you how it is. Okay, so repotting. There are two main reasons. The first reason is that it has grown big enough. Maybe the roots are showing, or maybe it has a pup, like this one has a pup right here, and you want to separate them and give them to a friend. Or the other reason, the soil is just trash. The soil is not good enough. So propagation, let's talk about propagation. You want to start a huge family? Well, there are slow chances of starting a huge family with this one unless you buy more than one. Actually, I don't hate this plant. I love this plant very much. It is very sexy for me. But I want you to know what you are buying, because it's important to know before you buy something how your plant will grow in your home and if it's suitable for you or not. I tried to propagate this plant by leaf cuttings. Okay, so I took some leaves from the base and I placed some of them in water and some of them in soil directly. Well, I didn't have any luck in soil, unfortunately. I didn't get any leaf to make me some roots. I'm not even talking about new plants. But in water, I was successful. I will put in here the only picture that I have with some tiny roots that are growing out from leaf cutting. I don't recommend propagation by leaf cuttings because it will take ages. I suggest propagation by division. So if you have a plant that is growing well and it has a pup, you can separate it when the pup is more established. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about pests. So for me, this plant was very friendly, didn't have any pests. However, if this plant could have pests, it could be mealybugs or maybe scale. Those are more susceptible to Sansevierias in particular. We will be filming separate videos for every kind of pest there is. This can wrap up the complete care guide for this amazing plant. In addition, you should know that this plant is not pet friendly. So this sums up the video, and if you like this plant, we also have a detailed blog post about Sansevieria Silver Blue. We'll link that down below, and maybe join us in the comment section and tell us about your experience with Sansevieria, and maybe I missed something, or maybe you want some advice about it, or any type of thought you may have. Thank you for watching, and until next time.